lively and hybrid SUV used to go together like oil and water. That is not true anymore, and fortunately for purchasers, the architects and originators at Mazda and Alfa Romeo comprehended a telling perspective out, utility for load and apparatus, all climate footing, and amusing to drive aren't fundamentally unrelated terms. Enter the 2018 Mazda CX-5 and 2018 Alfa Romeo Stelvio. As proved by base costs $15,000 separated, they're not immediate contenders. For devotees, in any case, these two are worth cross-shopping. In our appraisals, the 2018 CX-5 rates a 7.0, while the 2018 Stelvio comes in at a 7.4. They're both exceptionally evaluated, yet they're not quite the same as contenders prefer the Nissan Rogue and Audi Q5. Those two better use inside space for travelers and their apparatus, and they gloat more natural infotainment frameworks. However, neither relishes a run down a breathtaking Gulch Street. The CX-5 and Stelvio are the antitoxin. Befitting its lower cost, around $25,000 to begin, the Mazda is less effective and similarly scanty in standard gear. That base value nets a front-wheel drive CX-5, another $1,300 purchases control for each of the four corners. All CX-5s utilize the same 2.5-liter inline-4 evaluated at an average 187 torque. A 6-speed programmed transports energy to the wheels. The motor is buzzy, yet gives respectable snort up against person-on-foot rivals thanks to a limited extent to the CX-5's flexible 3,600-pound check weight. The Stelvio's Turbo 4 comes in with an immensely more amazing 280 horsepower, sent to each of the four wheels by means of a 8-speed programmed accessible with paddle shifters. Astoundingly, the Stelvio checks in at around 3,700 pounds. Given that energy-to-weight proportion, it's nothing unexpected that the Stelvio is energetic and now and again savage in its increasing speed. An all the more intense Stelvio Quadrifoglio with a Ferrari-inferred twin-turbo V6 is headed for speed. Evil presences with money and premium unleaded to consume. Unquestionably, the CX-5 isn't about straight-line increasing speed. Its strength is its dealing with, which is tight and responsive. By examination, the Stelvio is occupied, relatively hyper, however similarly made. The two hybrids have a higher focus of gravity than their car partners, think the Mazda 3 and Alfa Romeo Giulia, which clarifies their moderately larger amounts of body roll. The Stelvio's drive mode selector dials in severely quick moves in dynamic mode, and it's most appropriate for those take the long way home days. Genuine, the CX-5 likewise has a game mode, yet its reactions are agreeable and quelled. There's no sportier form of the CX-5 on offer, yet Alfa's T-Sport trim level takes care of the suspension. A T-Performance package additionally raises the Stelvio's sticker price with versatile dampers and a mechanical constrained slip differential. The two hybrids build up themselves as energetic decisions all around. In spite of the fact that the CX-5 was penned in California and Japan, its lines could have originated from Italy. It's a perfect, unrestricted look that gives a false representation of its low cost. Alfa Romeo's architects dove into the history books to reproduce the brand's shield grille, flanked here by beady pier-toward headlights. Inside, they take after an astoundingly comparable shape with two-level dash plans that organize the view out. Finished comfort. The CX-5's materials are upmarket at its cost, while the Stelvios don't emerge against contenders like the Mercedes-Benz GLC class. Neither one of the focuses for infotainment. The two frameworks depend on bulky, menu-serious programming, a parchment wheel for data sources, and constrained availability. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are discretionary on the Stelvio and not accessible on the CX-5. Sporty and crossover SUV used to go together like oil and water. That's no longer the case, and luckily for buyers, the engineers and designers at Mazda and Alfa Romeo understand that a commanding view out, utility for cargo and gear, all-weather traction, and fun to drive aren't mutually exclusive terms. Enter the 2018 Mazda CX-5 and 2018 Alfa Romeo Stelvio. As evidenced by base prices $15,000 apart, they're not direct competitors. For enthusiasts, however, these two are worth cross-shopping. In our ratings, the 2018 CX-5 rates a 7.0, while the 2018 Stelvio comes in at a 7.4. They're both highly rated, but they're different than competitors like the Nissan Rogue and Audi Q5. Those two better utilize interior space for passengers and their gear, and they boast more intuitive infotainment systems. Yet neither relishes a sprint down a curvy canyon road. The CX-5 and Stelvio are the antidote. Befitting its lower price, around $25,000 to start, the Mazda is less powerful and comparatively sparse in standard equipment. That base price nets a front-wheel drive CX-5, another $1,300 buys power for all four corners. All CX-5s use the same 2.5-liter inline-4 rated at a middling 187 horsepower. A 6-speed automatic shuttles power to the wheels. The engine is buzzy, but provides decent grunt up against pedestrian rivals thanks in part to the CX-5's lithe 3,600-pound curb weight. The Stelvio's Turbo 4 comes in with a vastly more impressive 280 horsepower, sent to all four wheels via an 8-speed automatic available with paddle shifters. Remarkably, the Stelvio checks in at about 3,700 pounds. Given that power-to-weight ratio, it's no surprise that the Stelvio is brisk and at times ferocious in its acceleration. A more powerful Stelvio Quadrifoglio with a Ferrari-derived twin-turbo V6 is on its way for speed demons with cash and premium unleaded to burn. Certainly, the CX-5 isn't about straight-line acceleration. Its forte is its handling, which is taut and responsive. By comparison, the Stelvio is busy, almost manic, but equally composed. Both crossovers have a higher center of gravity than their sedan counterparts. Think the Mazda 3 and Alfa Romeo Giulia, which explains their relatively higher levels of body roll. The Stelvio's drive mode selector dials in brutally fast shifts in dynamic mode, and it's best suited for those take-the-long-way-home days. True, the CX-5 also has a sport mode, but its response is tame and subdued. There's no sportier version of the CX-5 on offer, but Alfa's T-Sport trim level tightens up the suspension. A T-Performance package further elevates the Stelvio's price tag with adaptive dampers and a mechanical limited slip differential. Style, comfort, and convenience. Both crossovers establish themselves as sporty choices inside and out. Though the CX-5 was penned in California and Japan, its lines could have come from Italy. It's a clean, unencumbered look that belies its low price. Alfa Romeo's designers dug into the history books to recreate the brand shield grille, flanked here by beady-eyed headlights. Inside, they follow a remarkably similar form with two-tier dash designs that prioritize the view out over convenience. The CX-5's materials are upmarket for its price, while the Stelvios don't stand out against competitors like the Mercedes-Benz GLC class. Neither wins points for infotainment. Both systems rely on cumbersome, menu-intensive software, a scroll wheel for inputs, and limited connectivity. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are optional on the Stelvio and not available on the CX-5. 2018 Mazda CX-50 2018 Mazda CX-50 2018 Mazda CX-50 2018 Mazda CX-5. Sports cars prioritize the driver, and so too do the CX-5 and Stelvio. Firm, well-bolstered seats grip the front passengers and provide a largely unobstructed view out thanks to narrow roof pillars. Rear seat riders get a second-class seating position in both, with mediocre support from their three-position benches. And neither leads in terms of cargo capacity, just 56.5 cubic feet of maximum gear-swallowing space in the Alfa and a hair under 60 cubes for the Mazda. On paper, you'll save about $15,000 by picking the CX-5, but that's hardly an apples-to-apples comparison. The Stelvio is well equipped from the get-go with all-wheel drive, leather upholstery, dual-zone automatic climate control, and a power liftgate. To get all that gear on the CX-5, you'll need to step up to the range-topping CX-5 Grand Touring that also includes heated front seats, automatic emergency braking, and adaptive cruise control for about $31,600. At an EPA-rated 26 miles per gallon combined on regular fuel, the CX-5 bests the Stelvio's 24 miles per gallon combined using pricier premium unleaded. Ultimately, which crossover is the best for you depends on your priorities. The CX-5's lower price tag brings with it less power and fewer standard features, but even a loaded-up model is something of a bargain. So too is the Stelvio, at least against its luxury brand competitors. Either makes a statement that automotive enthusiasm isn't dead yet, even as buyers migrate away from sedans and to tall-riding crossovers. Summary: remarkably fun to drive and beautiful too. The 2018 Alfa Romeo Stelvio is great at driving, less hassle at crossover SUV. As long as cargo space isn't your main reason for buying a compact crossover, the 2018 Mazda CX-5 is an excellent, fun-to-drive choice. Styling. With the Stelvio, Alfa Romeo coins a new shape that reminds us how blocky other crossover SUVs can seem. The 2018 Mazda CX-5 is far too pretty to be a crossover. Performance. Dollar for dollar, the 2018 Alfa Romeo Stelvio is one of the most capable, dynamic, and fun-to-drive crossover SUVs on the market. Yes, there's a little bit of Miata in the 2018 Mazda CX-5. Just enough. Comfort and quality. A tiny backseat is the 2018 Alfa Stelvio's biggest demerit, and will make it difficult for Alfa Romeo to appeal to families with older children. Though dressed in fancy duds, the 2018 Mazda CX-5's interior is full of compromises. Safety. Crash test ratings aren't available for the 2018 Alfa Romeo Stelvio yet. The 2018 Mazda CX-5 comes standard with a high level of safety gear. Features. A solid roster of standard equipment and a range of luxury and performance options keeps the Alfa Romeo Stelvio competitive, while a solid warranty should give owners some peace of mind. The 2018 Mazda CX-5 comes luxuriously equipped, but its cumbersome infotainment system is a letdown. Fuel economy. The Alfa Romeo Stelvio's 28-mile-per-gallon highway rating is perfectly average for the class, keeping pace with its European rivals. The 2018 Mazda CX-5's engine can run on just half of its cylinders to reduce fuel consumption.